What's up guys, and welcome to another video from Code Review IO. In this video we're going to build a shimmering React Native component that can be scaled with every use by using the linear gradient. If you are new here, the sub and the like will be gold. And let's get started. So first we install React Native and we start creating React Native project. In this case, this is the command if you want to use the React Native with TypeScript. In this case, they called it my app, but actually I called it something else. So you can call it whatever you want. And then when the install will be finished, then you go inside the app and then you take this command to install the React Native linear gradient. Again, if you are using TypeScript, you need to install the types for it. So back to the app, I already cleaned the app TypeScript, and then I moved it to inside the source directory. So I created the source directory and moved the app to it. And now inside the source, because we need just one component, so actually I can just create it here. In this case, I call this one as a Shimmering. So this is the file Shimmering component, and what we need to do is importing React, and we started export a class component. So in this case I'm using a class component, so we use a class and then we just say Shimmering that will extend. Again, I will use a pure component here in this case. And for the types we need a state and we need a props. So actually we can say it will be the props and this will be the state. So in this case, and then we started to render, and that will return. For now we will just say view, and we start creating our interfaces. So in this case we say interface, state server that, and then interface iProps. So for iProps we will talk about this later, because we need couple props that will be optional. For state we need just one property, and it's called view width, and that could be a number. And for now I see this is not okay, so I have typing problem called shimmering. Yeah, so that's it. And then we have the view, and then this will be render, and we export the file, and then we export everything. Let's go to the app and try to import this one inside here. So for now we don't see anything because the view is empty. So for the props we're going to use a couple of props. One of them is called colors, and that's gonna be array of string. And the second one is gonna be the gradient style, because we need to have the ability to send the style from outside as a props. So we say gradient style, and that's gonna be an optional, and what we will use is a style prop. And what we're going to do also, we will put additional props that to make sure that these props should be always, in case of the gradient style is there, the width should be always there. So these are let's say required in case of the gradient style prop is there. And also we're going to put a wrapper style, and that's gonna be again an optional, and we will use style prop, and that will be as a the previous one, view style, and that's it. So these are our props. Now I'm going to import the linear gradient. So we import the linear gradient from here, and in this case what we're going to do is to put some constant values before the rendering of the component. So before even is not inside the component, we just put this outside. So we will say constants, and I want to take the color. So in this case I will use a gray. So this is where the shimmering, the effect of the linear gradient will go. and I will use RGB here. And again, the next one, it will be the constant for shimmering. That's what's gonna be the shimmering animation value, or animated value is the same what you call it, and that will be new animated. You see that the from React Native, and we just say value of 0, and that will be take the animated value, and then we say loop in case of the animation, and then we just take animated timing, and that will take with the first is the value. So sorry for that, I put the auto format, and that goes like this, and then we take the object config for it. And in this case, what we need, the object config is we use then use native driver, and thus we need for this one I put false, and you will see why later why I put false. So I will show you how this works. So, and then we take the delay, and for now I put 1200, and then duration is gonna be, I mean, I don't know, you can put whatever you want, but important is to value, and that's gonna be 1. So it will go from value 0 to value 1. That's the typical animation, let's say, implementation in React Native. Well, now we go inside the component. First, we will take read only. So I need a value that will be available globally in the class. So that's I use this let's say the inner instance. So that's gonna be type of animated composite animation. So that's the animation type. The second is that we need the gradient colors. So these are the colors. Well, let's say private I don't know, gradients colors, and that will be an array. So I think it's not gradients, it's just gradient colors, yes. And then what we're going to use is we're going to use the gray, and then the second one is will be a string, and then a gray again. And in this case we will use the white in between. So that's the gradient colors. Now we implement the constructor. And here what we need to do is take in the state, as I said, the state in this case it's gonna be only the view width. So we say view state, and then we say state, and then say view width is -1. So why we put -1? Because we don't need to 0 is a valid value, still a valid value in this case, so we need to put this one as a -1. And also what we're going to do is taking this animation, so this is where we assign this value, and we say this shimmering animation. Now what we're going to do also before we start, we need to put everything in separate. So in this case what we just say, we take everything from this props, and that means that we will take the gradient style, and then also the colors and the wrapper style. And also what we're going to take also, we're going to take the width from the screen. Okay, so in this case also we have the width, we have the dimensions. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make some styling, and now we start building the components. So first of all we go with this style, and in this case I need to put the width and the height for this. So otherwise it will take the width from as we took it from the dimensions. So this is the fallback for the wrapper style. Okay, I think I did a mistake here. So the width should be goes with the with the wrapper style, not with the gradient. So it's like this. You can put any value, but for now I put as this one as a default value. Now this is still complaining because the tag is empty. That's true, but give me time, man. So put a view in it again, and in this view we would use some styling that passed by the props. So we take an array and then we just say styles container. So this is kind of like the initial styling for this view, and then we pass also the loading style, which is the background gray, and then we pass also the wrapper style. As a side note, we didn't create the styles yet, so first of all we go to importing the style sheet, and then we go down, and in this container it's very important to put a couple values, and one of them is that the overflow as a hidden, otherwise we're not gonna see that we're not gonna see any styling that affected the shimmering component. So the second thing that in this view is that we will have an event listener. So this event listener is called onLayout, and in this function that we will create, it will say I will create it under the new component, so on, and that will take an event. You can see what type of event if you hover on the layout, and you will see that the type of event is layout change event. So I can actually import this one, layout change event, and then we will have it. So let's take it. So in this case we'll just say this set state, and we will say view width is equal to event native event, and then layout, and then we go back inside and then we will go and say start animation. But as we know, start animation is not created yet, and it's just a function that will access to the animation instance, and then it will just start. So this instance actually has all the functionality, so you will see it's a start, a stop, and a reset. In this case we use just a start. To continue with the view, back to the view, we don't have a valid any elements here, and that's when the animated comes in play. So we'll say animated view, and in this animated view we will also put a style, and in this case I will use also an array, and first one is an object. So as you know, in React Native you can pass a style as an object or as the style sheet by creating this object. So it will be the same, but React Native always recommend that by using the style sheet is less performance issue. Here we will use flex one and also left, and the second argument, it will be the gradient style. Again, animated view is an empty, so it's always complaining about this, but we still have inside, we just say linear gradient, and we pass the props to it. First of all, it's gonna be the colors. So as always, we already have the colors above in the props, or we will just say this gradient color, and when we pass an object, and that's gonna be when to start the linear. So we have an XY value, and in this case these values that I will provide here, I actually let's say I did a lot of let's say playing with all the values, and I saw the values. Now I will write them. They are the more nice in the component. So I will put here, and then we say y, and this will take 0 2. We will also have an xy for int, and 0 8. So this is the start and the end, but we can put also styling So here we will just say flex 1. That just to make sure that the linear gradient will fill all the animated view, and the animated view will fill all the view that we have, and then the view that we have, we can control it by the wrapper style that we can send via the props. Until now, I think we already have done all of it. So the component is ready, but still just one more thing I need to check is, do you see that's the left value? So the left value cannot be hard-coded. We need to put the left value, and then we just say get left, I don't know, get left value. And this get left value, what we'll do is first it will get the, we'll take this from the state, so we have the view width, and then what we return is that we return the animated, the shimmering animation value, but with interpolation. So we say interpolate, and we pass an object to it, and we say input range, that's taking an array from 0 to 1. That's always like this as an input range, but when we go to the output range, here what we will do, the minus view width. In this case, what we're going to do is we will use this function, so this get left value, and we just say, and here we pass this one as a left. Okay. So this is one of the things that you need to think about it, because on layout change it will be called every time for now, and that's why it will set a state every time. So that is a rendering issue. What we can do is put that will take an event, and we pass the event to it. You see, that's how it works, and you see it's already started our shimmering animation. Now to use this component is gonna be a lot of easier. So let's say you see property colors missing, so that's not the case because we have to put the colors as optional. So I don't want to say property colors is missing. And also the most important is that the wrapper style. As I said, if you put the wrapper style, you have to put, you see it's getting red because you have to put the width and height. So in this case I put the width as I don't know, 100, and height is 100, and then we will have this box, and we can put more. So we say border radius is 50, and then we have a circle. the circle, we can have the normal rectangle, and then for other components. So you can have any shape that you want to do, and with the same let's say with the same effect. You still couple things that we need to consider. So let's say this is our circle. If you want to pass any argument like colors, and here I will go with yellow. So this also looks not nice, but that's the idea, that we send the colors to change it. In this case we send the colors, so that's what I said. This is more scaling, the component is more scaled to take any effect, and that's one of the thing. So we can remove it actually and back to our normal component. So do you remember when I said that the use native driver should be false? That's because we pass the left value to the animated view. So if we put this one true, see what's happened. It will throw an error that the left is not supported by animated model. So that's because if you make the native driver in Android and in the iOS, I think in Android it will be okay, but in iOS it will always complaining about the native driver, and then you don't have the left value for the native driver. So that's why we need to put this one as a false. So I think that's it, guys, for this video. Please hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you for watching, and see you for next time.